Hello, it's Vicky here from financialtrader.tv. Now, chances are, if you're watching this, you may have already heard or indeed read about Vince Stanzione and his financial trading success. But maybe you're still not sure, or you're thinking, is it really that simple to make money trading? Or maybe you're worried the systems are just too complicated. Well, let's speak to the man himself and put a few of your questions to him. Hi, Vince. Good to have you here.
Hi, Vicky. Great to be here.
So let's start then at the very beginning. You have a proven track record. You have continued success, so well done you.
Thank you.
What about people watching at home now that really want to get involved but perhaps don't have masses of money to invest?
OK, well, the good news, Vicky, it's got a lot easier for people starting out. Back in the old days, I started back out in 1985, 1986. You needed much larger amounts. There was no internet in those days. So technology and the bet sizes now to trade are much smaller, so there's much more opportunities actually today. Also, for example, when I first started out, to try and trade American shares, it was very, very difficult. You know, to phone up New York will cost you £2 or £3 a minute. You know, these days you've got Skype and you've got all sorts, and it's a couple of pence a minute to call New York, and you don't phone anymore, it's all done on the internet. So the barriers to entry, what I'm trying to say, have come right down. So the small trader investor can really do exactly what the big trader investor does.
So because things have become that bit more accessible in our world now, does that mean we have more of a chance of fitting this in? Because I can imagine lots of people watching will be thinking, I want this, but do you know what? I'm holding down a job, I'm working 9 to 5, I've got a family that I need to look after. What hours in the day do I have?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the first thing is now, because again of the internet, most brokers are open 24 hours a day. And you can place your trades at any time that suits you. So say, for instance, you could do them first thing in the morning or in the evening. I personally do a lot of my trading at 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, sort of UK, European time, because of the difference between New York. So 9 o'clock in New York is, 9 o'clock in the UK is 4 o'clock in the States. So the time differences can actually work in your favour. But markets now, they're 24 hours a day. It's not a system which is called day trading. Day trading is where you're stuck to a screen all day trying to catch every little turn. That's not what we're into. What we're into is what's called trend trading, which suits exactly what you've just said, where people can check in the morning or check in the evening and literally just let trades run. So they don't, you know, they can carry on with their normal life, because what's the point of having the money if if you've got to be stuck to the screen all day
and you can't enjoy it?
Exactly.
What about people that have tried this before and perhaps have experienced losing lots of money? What do you think they did wrong, or did they do anything wrong?
Okay, I've been trading now, say, for 28 years. Before this, I was a broker, so I got to see thousands of accounts. So I could see, because Vicky, we can learn from losing traders as well as winning traders. Because if we see a pattern that a losing trader is making, well, obviously we don't want to follow them, and we really do the opposite to them. So what happens with a lot of losing traders is basically they start out, they get excited, it's like a new toy, and normally they overtrade. So they take big positions for the amount they've got, and maybe they make a few winning trades, and you start seeing a little bit of a gambler's type of mentality. So they become a little bit reckless, and then obviously some trades start going wrong, so they try to catch up. And they're not particularly trading a set system, so they're letting the emotions get in the way. And normally that is what causes most traders to get into trouble. It's nothing wrong with losing trades. I make losing trades, you will, everybody will make losing trades, but it's managing those losing trades. Because if we keep the losing trades small and the winning trades big, then it doesn't matter how many losing trades we get. But what tends to happen, the main reason why I see people get into trouble, is they want to take too big position for the amount of money they have. That sort of makes sense.
Yeah, it does, and it's really quite logical when you say it. Yeah. It does make sense. I don't want to give away your secrets, but you've been doing this for 28 years, and as we said at the top, you've been incredibly successful. I know that you like your checklist, so if I want to get started, what are your top tips for me? All
right, well, the first tip is actually, and I'm not just saying this because I've got a course, but get some good training. You know, most businesses, whether you're a lawyer or anything, you've got to trade treat trading as a business is get some training. Don't go and blow all your money straight away. You can basically get some training, get a course, and have what's called a virtual account. So you can practice trade without real money, but still use real prices, still be disciplined, and then after you've started to feel more comfortable, then you can start with just trading very, very small pennies and build up. Don't go in on day one and say, right, I'm going to blow my whole life savings on a tip that my Uncle Bert's given me. So, basically be disciplined. So basically get some training, start with a virtual account, then build up. The other thing is, don't try and trade everything that moves straight away. Today with the iPad and all this information, it's very easy to get information overload. So I would probably say start with individual shares and just start very small and build up, following a system, and literally, go step by step. Don't try and do it all in 1 week. And
then the more success you have, the more you can build off the back of that.
Exactly, you can build up. It's basically called compounding, and that's one of the ways that I've built up my wealth. If I say to you, right, £500 turns into £5,000, well, no, what happens is the 500 then turns into, say, 600. The 600 might turn into 1,200. Then that 1,200 carries on to 2,400, and it builds up, and that's the power of compounding. So it's not a case, so even if you've got small amounts, you can use your profits from one trade to fund your next investments.
And you've got a programme, haven't you? Making money from financial spread trading. Tell me about what we would get.
Okay, well, this is exactly what you would get. Like you said, most people are too busy. They don't want to basically go to a classroom and learn. They want to learn at their own pace, in their own time. So what the Making Money from Financial Spread Trading course is, it's 2.5 hours on DVD, which you can use on your computer. Doesn't matter if you've got a Mac or a PC. You've got a workbook, because I don't know about you, but I still like something in print. Something you can touch and bring with you. So you actually still get a printed workbook. All the slides that I use in the DVD, they're in here as well. And there's even a trading quiz. So there's a little quiz at the end where I go through, and then you can check your answers afterwards and see how you've done. You've also got access to an internet site. You've got access to email support, because that's very important. You must know when you start something out and you've got a few questions, isn't it nice that you can fire off an email and say, Vince, I'm stuck, or I'm not sure of that, and I will come back to you. And that's part of the reason why my students have done so well, because they've had the support. It's not like, oh, here's the package, see you later.
I think that's quite invaluable, actually, Vince, and I think that's quite rare to be able to have that one-on-one with you as well. I think that's brilliant.
Exactly, and you've got the internet site as well, which has got extra tools as well, and then you've also got the virtual account. And you can go at you go at your own pace. Some people go faster, some people it takes them a bit longer. Typically it takes about 30 days before someone actually starts trading, but as I say, because it's a home study course, do it. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. We ship all over the world, so it's ideal.
Well, what about people talking about the rest of the world? What about people now perhaps watching in the USA? Can they do this as well?
Okay, in the US you don't have financial spread betting, but you have futures, you have obviously shares, exchange traded funds. So in the US I've got a slightly different course to call Maximum Trading Profits in Minimum Time. And if you go onto my website, you'll see a little American flag. You click on that and that takes you to the US package. The actual trading system is the same. It's just that we use slightly different products in the US. In Australia, Singapore, South Africa, their laws are very similar to the UK. So this package basically works really for pretty much the rest of the world. So it's only the US that has its own package.
Okay, and we're not talking about a system that's just solely for spread betting, are we? We can use it for perhaps buying and selling shares as well.
Yeah, you can use it for shares, you can use it for currency trading, because if you think about it, spread betting or futures or exchange trading funds, they're like the vehicle. That's the way, what you actually use. The system basically works across all markets, also in different countries. Say for instance you're in Australia and you want to trade Australian shares, it's fine. It works just as well on Australian or US or UK shares. So it's global. It's a global market these days.
Well, you certainly wet my whistle, Vince. Well, how can we find out more?
Okay, best way is to go to www.fintrader.net. If you go onto that website, you'll get a copy of my top 10 trading tips, absolutely free. You'll also get updates and you'll be able to read more about the package.
Vince, thank you very much for your time, and thanks for watching at home. We'll see you next time here at financialtrader.tv.